Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Saruna Prilia. I want to present my presentation about nonfiction. Uh, and the title is Adrian Demons and James Moore, Darwin, The Life of a Tormented Evolution. The biggest surprise for me in Darwin was the realization that evolution was not a concept that Darwin came up with. The Darwin was very much a product of his environment. That's not to say that he didn't come up with much on his own, but most of the things he is credited for were not pulled out of thin air. Ideas and even from his background were the springboard for his discoveries and thought. There were many evolutionists before Darwin. His contribution was the means, mostly natural section, by which evolution is achieved. He even hooked onto some ideas from the past which we know now to be false. For instance, he still believed in some variation from false Lamarckian thought, such as trains accurate after birth being passed to offspring. This is probably the best biography I've ever read. Unlike most biographies, which cause me to go through frequent bouts of boredom, this one is incredibly lucid, especially for its length. Darwin's adventures upon the Beagle are particularly well presented. As a scientist, Darwin kept rigorous notes and journal. There is from this search and the countless letters that Darwin exchanged over his life. The author have presented a very accurate portrait of one of the most fascinating author have presented a very accurate portrait of one of the most mind to have ever lived. Of particular interest to me was the various dichotomies Darwin's life included. He was a radical living in Victorian England who displayed traits of ironically and simultaneously being both a radical thinker and a conservative from the Victorian tradition. He was also a man of high standing among his family, society, and the science community. He seemingly had nothing to gain and everything to lose by propagating some of his conclusions. He did in fact lose many friends and honors because of his published views in the origin of species. He sat on his ideas for decades because of concern for family and society. Unlike many others, he considered waiting to have his work published posthumously. Like Galileo, Darwin spent a large portion of his life suffering from illness. It is incredible what these to accomplish given their unhealthy condition for most of their life. Both were found of rigorous experimentation and sampling before letting their view be known. Darwin didn't care for those who were too theoretical. Readers of this biography will also learn about several other famous figures from the 19th century like Huxley, Owen, Hooker, Wallace, and Lyell. Regardless of religious preference or knowledge or science, Darwin should be fascinating to anyone who is fortunate enough to read its contents. I think that's all. Thank you for attention. Thank you.